Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Hold on, I'm going to share my webcam here so we can actually see some faces. We are delighted to welcome you to today's webinar. This is the official launch of our new 3D rendering tool on ZoomProspector. I'm so excited to be sharing this really amazing moment with my colleagues. You can see Stevie Field-Chavez over here on me. We also have joining us today Pablo Monzon, our co-managing director at CTO, and Pau Rodriguez, our design director. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year.
We are delighted to have you all with us here today. We are going to be showing you some really amazing things. This is really the future of digital site selection. And so what you're seeing here is the new 3D rendering tool that went live in ZoomProspector and all ZoomProspectors this morning. So let me tell you a couple things about what you are seeing here today. This 3D rendering tool that went live in ZoomProspector this morning is the only thing like this on the market. There is really no other vendor that is offering this free, making it so easy to every single user of ZoomProspector. You can use this internally, your team can use this, site selectors and prospects, and any website user that is visiting your ZoomProspector tool will be able to go into a property report and create their own custom 3D renderings without needing any training, any design background. It's actually super fun to do and very intuitive. A couple things I'd like to say about it before I turn this over to Stevie to give you a full-on demo. The idea here, as we saw the pandemic progressing and more people required to do site selection in a digital capacity, was to build into the tool a way for anybody to be in the driver's seat, to create these 3D renderings without having to rely on expensive and time-consuming experts to produce this. Obviously, we're not going to be able to see that for every single property because they can get very expensive and they take a while to produce. This puts your investors and site selectors in control so they can feel the deal and they can imagine their property already on any one of the sites that you're seeing here. Now, a couple things you need to know. This new 3D rendering tool is automatically included for every property in every ZoomProspector that is out there. You don't have to do anything in order to make this happen. Once you're in there and you visit a property report and you decide you want to click on the 3D renderings, you can create as many as you like. You are not limited. They're very quick and easy to do, so you can play around with them and create as many as you want. Each one of these 3D renderings can be easily customized with a whole variety of design options. We're going to show you what that looks like. It's really fun to do and very intuitive. You'll see that you can actually save any of the renderings. Let's say you're playing around with it and you come up with something, you think it looks great. Very easy to save. You do not need a login. There is no need to create yet another username and password. This all gets saved in your cache, so it's easy to show you. Clients are able to view the ones that are created for different properties in their admin, so these actually do get saved. If you create one, you don't like it, it's easy to delete it also. Now, sharing, this is the other power of this. Not only can you create them easily and save them, but you can share them literally with a link so they can be added to emails, to presentations, to marketing. Now, once you've created and saved some designs, anytime you visit that property, your saved designs will be available to you from the property report. Now, other people visiting the property report won't be able to see them unless you've shared it with them. If you've shared it with them, then of course they can see it. But this way you have your saved designs handy and at your fingertips for you. And now you've got this incredibly powerful visualization tool that you can take advantage of for simulations, for proposals, for presentations, marketing, promotion of different kinds. It really is incredibly powerful, and the idea is for you to, and your website users, to be able to take advantage of this. So I'm going to pass this over to Stevie, and she is going to walk you through what it looks like to create some presentations. And I'm just going to turn off my webcam here, let our tool be the star of the show. And Stevie, over to you.
Okay, Alisa, can you see my screen? And you can no longer see me.
Exactly. Looks
okay,
great.
Very good. I feel like that we just need to drink after saying that, you know. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. We really appreciate you carving out a little bit of your time today to kind of see what's new at GIS planning. I'm going to walk you through a little bit on how to use the 3D rendering tool, and we can answer your questions. Pablo and Pau are on the line with us, and they are the experienced, the pros. They're the ones that kind of developed this, and it's their idea, and so they're just going to be the go-to for the questions that you may have and some answers. So with that, let's just get started. You can see I'm kind of in the Miami-Dade area here, just playing around looking at some available sites and buildings. Our first building or area that we're going to look at is the Grapefruit Plaza. So I'm going to select that with my mouse, and you can see I've got it here on our map, and I'm going to scroll in a little bit, move my map around. With any of our property cards, that map is fully interactive, so you can move it around. There's all the different tools here in your map tool. So this is going to allow me the option of our 3D render design tool, our brand new tool. It really just went out, I guess, last night. So I've got this parking lot here. It's no longer going to be a parking lot. We want to make this an office building, and I really want to give our prospect an idea of what that building could look like. So as you can see, I'm drawing with my mouse this little blue line here on the map. This is going to be a kind of a funky shaped building. There you can see, and we're going to get a pop-up that's going to ask us different questions about how we want to actually make this building. So here are the instructions down at the bottom on zooming in, zooming out, and rotating. And so we really don't need those right now. So I'm going to close that small box, and that allows me to see more clearly the different options that we have in terms of height and decor. So I think I want to make this building taller. It's going to be kind of a pretty good size office building here. Exterior design, I'm really interested in brick with some windows, and so I really want it to look like an office. But that doesn't quite look right, so I want to play around a little bit with my horizontal and my vertical buttons until I get something that really looks like how I'm envisioning on this space. You can see this is really kind of a high-rise building. I'm going to turn off my map labels. Pau told me to do that. So I have the ability to look at this building from multiple angles. I can also change colors. So if I'm interested in maybe changing the color before I've selected a design, a decor design, I can kind of show it on my map here. I go for more of your pink color, so it really kind of stands out. You can see how easy that is to change, or I can go into our actual exterior design color options. Once I've created this building, I can apply this building, which then activates my ability to save it. So we're going to call this our 3D, oops, I did that last time, 3D building 1. And I'm going to save this, and you can see our 3D design button on our property card just highlighted. It just bolded, which lets me know that that's there. So that's now, anytime I use this application, that 3D button is going to be highlighted, and that option will be there for me. How do you share this building? You can simply share, hit this share button, which is a universal button throughout all of our GIS planning tools and the site selection application. This is the magic, I think, because it really communicates what you're seeing with whomever you want to get an idea of what they can do in your community. You want them to see the same thing you're seeing. A picture paints 1,000 words, and that's what this is doing. I can simply copy this link right here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to this design, and it's going to pop up here, and you can see there's my tool right there. So if you sent that in an email, or you've embedded that in a social media news post or an electronic newsletter, you can actually communicate your idea of a design on a particular piece of property by simply just sharing that button. And again, that button is there throughout your entire GIS planning tools experience. Let's take a look at another, let's go to another property, and let's do a different type of building. I'm interested in the Gator River Industrial Project, and let's scroll in a little bit here. Now, these cannot be drawn on a mobile phone at this time, but they can be viewed on a mobile phone, and I think that's really important. So if you share, You can actually share this. I can open it on my mobile phone or my tablet computer, and I can see the type of building that you've drawn. That's an interesting hard word. Okay, I'm going to get a little creative here, and we're going to draw it like that. So we've got a really funky shaped building, but I'm just trying to show how easy it is to draw different size and types of buildings. Now I'm going to play around with my height a little bit. I want a taller building. I'm thinking I'm going to want maybe a metal building. It's more industrial, and I can play with my light intensity. I can play with how opaque, how clear, or how dense this building may look. I can also extend the horizontal view and the vertical view to create more layers to the building, more windows. Again, I can play with my colors. I can change my design. Once I've applied this, that gives me the option to save it into my 3D design. I can save, I'm going to call this save to, building 2, save this. You can see my 3D design just lit up, and now I have that option in my 3D design. I just want to reiterate, it is free for clients. It's already on your application. Click any particular property where you want to draw a 3D building, and you have the option for the 3D rendering draw tool, and you can just start drawing away. You can save it to your design and actually upload it to that property so everyone can see the vision of this building in your system, or you can simply share it, and maybe it just is something that you're communicating with one particular prospect. You don't want it to be associated to the project card. Pau and Pablo and Lisa, do you all have some questions or some information you'd like to add about the tool and how to use it?
Yes, so there are some questions coming in, and I just want to remind everyone that we invite your questions, comments, feedback. You can put those in the questions field in the GoToWebinar control panel. So people would like us a couple of questions about different ways to share. Maybe you could just show us the share option one more time, Stevie, as I'm reading out. How do we share these? And you can see that from Stevie's screen over there, they can be shared with the hyperlink that you can grab at the bottom. You can share directly by putting in someone's email address. You can share to social media directly from the tool. So that's a possibility as well. And Rob wants to know if these 3D renderings can be exported to a PowerPoint slide. And I'll let maybe Pau, do you want to explain how we could do that?
Yeah, so actually the answer could be yes, because Rob, what you could do is actually take that rendering, you export it, and then you take that file that you export it, and you can paste it on any slide in the PowerPoint. So you'll be able to do that with no problem.
Excellent. Okay. And then a couple questions about how do you remove 3D designs from a listing? Just to clarify, if you create 3D listings and they're attached to a property listing, other people can only see it if you share it with them. So while you'll still see it on that property report, that isn't visible to other people who visit the property unless you've chosen to share with them. But that is a good question. How do we do these things?
Can I clarify that one? So basically, you can create one or more designs, as many as you want. That's number one. Number two, you can share it to whoever you want. Then if you're a client of ours, then you can also choose to make any of those designs available to everybody. You just go to the back end and say, I want this design to be visible to all my users. You can do that. And if you want to remove it, the same, you can do that too in the admin. So in the admin, you have control to add a design to all your users or remove that to all your users. And if you're just doing it for like a specific person, then you can just create it, share it, and send it to them. But if you save it, it will be in your backend, and then you can decide at any time to publish or delete any of them.
And if you're playing around on someone else's site and you create a 3D design, you decide you no longer want it, is it possible for you to delete it for your own purposes?
I think this is an option that we will definitely add. When you are looking at the 3D designs, I think we'll probably try to find a solution here that you can delete it right from your list. So if you don't want to see it for yourself, the creator, then you'll be able to remove it.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Joan wants to know, are these 3D renderings just to show the outside of a building? So we can, in this case, yes, you're seeing just the exterior. The 3D rendering does not show the design layout for the inside of the building.
That's correct. Yes,
That's correct.
Yeah, we can.
We have a virtual tool. I just want to clarify that. Yeah, for this specific feature, we're doing it. This is external, but we do have a virtual tool button that you can see there where you can share your interior designs if you do happen to have one. So yeah, there's a way to do the interior with the virtual tool capability that we launched last year.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And can we show the rendering with different maps?
Yes, so yeah. That's from Walter, Alyssa. There you go. I was going to ask Stevie to switch the view to map. When we were looking at satellite. When we're looking through using the map, we have the building that we created on top of the Google Earth buildings around. So you get a pretty beautiful perspective of how the building would look next to the others in a 3D design view.
Yeah, it's nice to see everything in 3D because basically you can see the proportions of the building that you created, which with the other building that you have around it in 3D, and then you can, you have a more idea of like the architecture design and how it will look and interact with the environment.
Excellent. Okay, and Kristen, I think that answers your question. If you want to show it flat map versus satellites, that way you're able to see both of those. So there you go. I think that probably answers that. Let's see, there are lots of questions coming in. Okay, good.
Good. I'm glad we have some good questions and good time for those.
I can actually, while we're reading all of the questions here, now that Stevie has a color, to remind everyone that if you don't want to add an exterior design, you can use the color tool to make your building pop. And when I say pop, is that you can use it in any of your marketing tools. If you want to highlight a building or a site, how the building would look into your marketing design, your collateral, you can just go and use the color pop. You don't have to forcefully use an exterior design. You can use your branding colors to match all your marketing material.
So that's a really good point, Pau, because for those of us who might want to use this to add into proposals, for example, or put it in a presentation or some other kind of collateral that you might use as a trade show, this allows you to choose colors. You can even put in a hex code that makes it blend very seamlessly with the rest of your branding, which works very nicely. Let's see, can we create a 3D rendering without assigning it to a property profile? In other words, from the map itself. At this point, that's a great question. Any 3D rendering is built into the map from the property profile itself. Just to clarify.
I love the toy brick. It's one of my favorite.
To clarify the question, yes, it's attached to a property, but of course, once you are in a property report, feel free, if you know that you have another land or another site or somewhere else into the geography, you can zoom out from the map. You can go search for that spot on the map. That might help you.
So it doesn't have to be in the property first. It has to be attached to a property report, but I can say like, okay, I could design the building next to it if I want to.
Right.
Exactly.
Because I want to show a prospect what else can be in front of it or something, and you can do that to map. I mean, basically, you can create the building anywhere in the map, anywhere. Yes, if you want to show something like, oh, across the building, you can put this, something like this, and you can do many. So you can basically create a design that you send to a site selector saying, this is how the building could look like. This is the area in front of it, and this is another design that they are thinking about. And then this is another building like 2 miles from that commercial part that will complement this one. So, I mean, you can play with it as much as you want. There's a good question here that I like is they're asking if it's free, and the answer is yes, it is free. There's no cost to the user. There's no cost per building. There's no cost per site or anything like that. It is included in, I mean, you have to be a client, obviously, but it is included in your regular subscription with us. So there's no extra fees per building or anything like that. The other question I like here is can you do it yourself? Can anyone do it? And yes, the answer is yes. Anyone, your website visitor, your site selector visitors, anyone that comes to the website can do their own designs, or you can do your own designs too.
You know, what's so amazing about this is that I am a former client of GIS planning, as is some of our management staff, and we are not GIS tech people. We are economic developers. And so for me to get on this site and kind of play around and be able to draw a 3D building and to save it and to share it without having that GIS background is pretty amazing. It's very simple to use. If you're a client, it's already on your application. Select a property and you can select your 3D rendering and start drawing away. You can't break it. Get in there and start clicking. If you are not a client and you're interested in a demo, we can set up a one-on-one meeting with you and kind of walk you through the application and the tools and how this could work for your community. And if you're interested in playing around on it and you are not a client and you're not quite sure where to go, give us a call or an email and we can send you to a site that's close to you. It could be your state or your utility, one of your local community partners somewhere within the state. We have clients all over the US and Canada and actually the globe. So with lots of places to send you so you can get online and play around with this.
I have two more interesting questions here. One is, can we integrate that to the proposal system? And the answer yes, is that we're working on that. So any of you who work on our proposal system to send proposal to your prospects, yes, you will be able to add your own 3D designs to a proposal. So that's coming probably in a week or so. And then the other question that I like is it mobile friendly? Yes, you can create as many designs and send it to a prospect, and they should be able to see that design on your phone, or iPad, or desktop, whatever they are using.
Correct. You cannot draw this on your mobile phone or your tablet yet. I think that's in development, but you can view them. I just want to make sure that that's clear. You can view this on your mobile. We were testing this yesterday and it worked really, really well. So I encourage you to test it out and send it to a friend or a colleague or a coworker and draw on the building. And, you know, just to make sure, you know, our website is packed full. Pao has built this website and he has done just such an amazing job. There are all kinds of FAQs and pieces of information on our tools. And you can see we have that 3D rendering at your fingertips right here on the site that will take you into the page that has all kinds of information on how to draw a building, how to begin. You can see it's animated. It's just really answers some questions. So always feel free to visit our website for additional information, and you can always contact us from there too.
A couple of other questions that have come in. Donna wants to know, when will the feature go live? So it is currently live as of this morning. You are now able to access this on any ZoomProspector application that's live. So feel free to play around with it. As Stevie said, we're in the majority of the US states, and we're across Canada, we're all over the place. So if you do not yet have a ZoomProspector application, there's guaranteed one near you that you can be experimenting with. Please feel free to reach out to us and we can tell you where that is. I have a question from Emma. Our state uses ZoomProspector to submit for projects. It's a proposal generator, I imagine, is what they're talking about. Do you know how it will submit the 3D renderings when we submit it through our state site search request? So as Pablo has said, that will be something that we're making that functionality even smoother in the days to come, so you'll learn about that. In the meantime, if you create these, you can share it with a link. Images also can be generated, as Pao explained earlier, so those can be added to the proposal very easily at any point.
And you can share with a PDF, correct? You can save this and export this as a PDF document. How?
Yeah, you will do like a screenshot of the building, and then yes, you can put that into a PowerPoint. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it is designed to be shared. Yeah, I mean, I would, if you have presentation, you can, if you want to include in a PowerPoint, you can do that. I mean, you can also embed it somewhere, right? And then if you have your application, because there's something cool about showing it live, you know what I mean, where you can move around it. So I would say, I will encourage people to use the share button instead, but so that they can see the link and they can move around. If you don't want to do that and you have, a presentation where you have to do it, then I would say you can do a screenshot of the building and then put it in your PowerPoint, of course.
Yeah.
So I see that clearly we're getting some great feedback from people. We really appreciate that. Just so that you know, this is just when the webinar ends today, this is not necessarily the end of our conversation. We're encouraging people who create 3D renderings on different links to share them with us. So we'll have a gallery of them that we'll be able to feature. You can share them on social or send them to us directly as well. We're excited to see them. And we also are here to answer any questions that you might have about these. You can reach out at any time to our team at sales@gisplanning.com. You can reach out to info@gisplanning.com as well. We're happy to direct you to the ZoomProspector nearest to your community so you can play around with them if you're not already using it. And we're happy to answer any questions and set up a customized demo as well for you if you'd like to learn more about how ZoomProspector can work to drive investment to your community and your location. You will be getting an email from us by tomorrow with a link to the video recording of today's session, as well as a link to the website pages so you can explore some more. I'll include some other ZoomProspectors out there so you can link to those and start playing around on them if you'd like to. Please feel free to reach out with any questions you might have. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us for this exciting launch today of this new feature. And we look forward to connecting with you. Stevie, Pablo, Pau, thank you all very much for joining me for this presentation today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.